Hello, and welcome to Keeper's Place, the Keeper Murdoch Show and Podcast. We have a great show for you tonight, and here is our topic. Are Christian singles really dating God's way? Now that's a question that make you say, right? So for those of you who do not know me, my name is Reverend Coach Kiva Lernice Murdaugh, and I am the host and producer of Kiva's Place, the Kiva Murdaugh Show and Podcast. And my special guest is author Jare Campbell, and she authored the book, The 24-Hour Rule. So that's what we're going to be discussing today. So go ahead and get your drink. Y'all know what to do. Get your drink and make yourself comfortable and enjoy the ride, because the next time we come before you after our brief introduction, we will be introducing to you our speaker, our guest for today. So you don't want to miss it. So go ahead and get what you need done and just stay tuned.
Welcome to Keeper's Place, the Keeper Murdoch Show and Podcast. We hope that by the end of our show, you're left feeling empowered, motivated, and connected. So come on in the room, grab your favorite drink, sit back, and enjoy the ride, because you're finally at Keeper's Place.
You can show me how the odds are up against me all day long, but I've been through the fire and come out alive, and there's no more fear in my eyes. Well, now I'm rising, and you can't bring me down. You can't stop me now. Can't stop me now. My feet have come too far for you to tie them to the ground. You can't stop me now. Can't stop me now. Set my sights on where I'm going at and turn it back around. You can't stop me now. You can't stop me.
Welcome back. All right, well, let me read our guest introduction, and then I will bring her on screen. So Rae Campbell is a best-selling author and lover of Honey BBQ potato chips. Who doesn't love Honey BBQ potato chips, right? Her mission is to end toxic relationship cycles in order to build strong, family-oriented communities. This mission led her to publish the 24-Hour Rule, determining your dating partner's marriage potential in 30 days. It is the most talked about faith-based relationship manual since its release in January 2019. This woman's worth strategist encourages women to seek ascension and not attention when dating. I love that. Whether you find her speaking and teaching at live events or online, her lasting message will be, you cannot date the world's way and expect kingdom results. Oh, y'all ready for this powerful woman of God? Yeah? Come on in the room. I want to introduce and bring on my guest today, author Jare Campbell. How are you doing?
Doing wonderful. How are you tonight?
We are blessed. Thank you so much for coming on and discussing your book with us. Listen, I'm super excited. I think that you have a strong message for the world, especially for our singles. So I'm super excited to talk about it today.
I am as well. I'm so glad to join you.
Well, for those who do not know you, tell them a little bit about yourself and what encouraged you to write your book.
Well, everyone, I must tell you that I have had quite a few relationships, and the book, The 24-Hour Rule, was inspired by one of my relationships while I was talking to a girlfriend. And listen, me and this guy, we were having an all right time, but we barely saw each other. And I remember saying, me and this guy have been knowing each other for at least 6 months, but we have not even spent 24 hours together face to face. So when I combine the time that we went out on a date or, met face to face, it did not add up to 24 hours. And I thought, oh my goodness, wait a minute. But little did I know that would be the book title that I would choose a couple of years later. So that's pretty much where it came from.
Wow, and reading the title, because I have the book as well, the 24-hour rule book. Yes, yes. And we're going to talk about where they can get their copy. But reading the title, you really I did not come to the conclusion on your title, the 24-hour rule, because looking at your title, you kind of think that it would be something different, but to hear about just over the course of a 6-month relationship or courtship or whatever term you want to use, the combined time interacting with each other during that period was 24 hours or less. That is crazy, right?
Crazy. So how can you actually determine if somebody is really marriage potential if you don't even spend time together? And if you don't spend time together while you're dating, so it kind of makes you think, well, how would a marriage be with this person? Because we're going to be together all the time.
And think about it like this, and we'll probably get into it a little bit deeper later on, but just think about how quickly, especially as women, we tend to give ourselves away to these individuals. And like you said, over the course of 6 months, y'all really didn't even spend 24 hours together. But think about, just people are looking at the months that you've been communicating, but not really how much time you've actually spent together.
Exactly. Yep. That's what it's all about.
Exactly, right? So tell us a little bit about your book.
Now, the book, as you mentioned before, it is faith-based. So my book actually kind of researches what God intends for us to have in a relationship, in a marriage. So as I kind of mentioned earlier, when I was dating and kind of had a couple of relationships that didn't work out, in particular, there was about 2 of them that I really thought was going to go somewhere and it didn't. It caused me to really self-reflect. And in my self-reflection, I feel like the Spirit of the Lord said, you're not even listening to nothing that I'm saying in the first place. So how in the world would you expect this to end up to be a kingdom marriage when you're not doing anything that I'm asking you to do? So I said, you know what, Lord, I've heard the famous scripture, love endures through all, and love is patient, love is kind, but I've never actually studied for myself as to what God intended. So I studied and I actually included that in the book. What God says about what love is, his intentions for humans, men and women, when they come together. And I came to the conclusion that, you know what? We're supposed to be all who we are supposed to be as individuals in God. And when we're individuals in God, that's when he's like, okay, I got somebody for you. I want you to meet this person right here. And that's how it happens. But we have to trust God enough to become that woman of God that we are supposed to be. And I'll say one more thing. So it's not, oh, I'm going to do this when I get married. I'm going to make sure that now somebody may have said this. Actually, someone has said this to me that, oh, when I get a man with benefits, then I'm going to pursue my dream to become an entrepreneur. Then I'm not going to buy all this nice furniture because my future husband may not like it. And I'm like, what? So go ahead and be you while you're single and let God do the rest.
You know what? And that's beautiful. And you just hit the nail right on the head, because sometimes, and looking at me, you probably think, well, she don't know what she's talking about. She's been married her whole adult life. But, I think that you just said a mouthful when you said, basically, you have to work on yourself first. You have to get yourself in a position to hear God first before you try to combine your life with somebody else's life, number one. And I think that is so important for you to just develop that spiritual relationship so that you can make sure that when that person comes, because sometimes God will send you somebody, but because you're not in a space to receive it, then you can either mess up, and correct me if I'm wrong, author, you can mess up the situation because you yourself is not where you need to be for God to truly bless you in this relationship.
Absolutely. You hit the nail on the head because I emphasize being prepared. So you want to be prepared for this individual or prepared for marriage if marriage is your goal. You don't have to be blindsided with marriage. You can actually prepare yourself. I use in the book an example of, if something pops up in your mind that all of a sudden you want to become this outstanding baker, that might be the Holy Spirit whispering to you saying, girl, your husband or or if it's a male watching, your wife, that's her favorite dish, or that's her favorite snack. You need to learn how to make that because that's the thing that may impress him or her. So you listen to that voice and you learn to do those things while you are single. And when you're single, a lot of times we don't cook a lot because it's just us. So learn to be able to prepare a meal. And these are just examples that I'm throwing out there. I'm not saying, you have to be a cook. So don't nobody say anything like that. I'm just saying whatever the Lord puts in your mind to do, go ahead and learn that skill. Go ahead, and if you want to become healthier, go ahead and do that now when you don't have anybody. Because I don't know about any of y'all, when you meet somebody, that's when I'm like, oh yeah, let me go to this gym, because summertime coming up and I don't want to be, I want to make sure I look right in my swimsuit. No, go ahead and do that now, because he's going to be looking at you at that present time. Don't wait, ladies, don't wait.
And that is such a true statement, because when you're in active looking mode, so to speak, you tend to want to make sure everything is in check, or like you said, you should go ahead and start getting prepared for when God send you your king or your queen. So there are things, even as married, wives or, spouses too, we tend to fall into that comfortable zone and let a lot of things go when you do get married. But what I'm hearing you say is this is the time right now, if you are single and you don't actually have anybody, to go ahead and brush up on those cooking skills. Go ahead and brush up on your health. Go ahead and brush up on anything that may be lacking in your life so that you can be in a position so that when God does propel that person to you, you will already be in a space to receive it.
Exactly. There's a quote that says, opportunity favors those who are prepared. And I feel like God does that as well. He favors those that are prepared. Matter of fact, he says it in his word that those who diligently seek me, you know the rest. So you have to diligently seek him and already show that your work has been approved because you've already done that. And so when you develop that habit before you meet the person, it won't become such a task when it's time to do those things. So
I love that. Now, Jare, I want you to tell me, what's the biggest challenge that you hear from our single women and men about dating nowadays, especially dating in 2021? So what have you been hearing since you've authored this 24-hour rule?
oh my goodness, I've been hearing that it's so hard to choose someone because of the simple fact that a lot of people have so many options now. Mm-hmm. And the more I think about it, the more I'm like, you're absolutely telling the truth. Gone are the days where we are marrying the person that we attended college or high school or middle school with because of social media, because we can at a click of a button be connected to somebody that lives around the corner that we didn't even know lived around the corner. We have so many options now. So a young man I counseled, or not counseled, I don't want to say counseled, I coached. He said, he gave the analogy of trying to buy a house. He's like, how do you pick a house if you like all the houses that you're looking at? And I said, well, for one, and not to sound super spiritual, you have to pray and ask God what it is that I need. And then also know within yourself, who am I and what type of person do I need in my life? And where do I see myself going and being? And when you narrow those things down, I believe that you will be able to determine who is right for you. But you can only live in one house. I had to emphasize that. You can't live in all of them. You can't want to live in all of them. You're going to have to choose one.
That's exactly true. And I think you just dropped the nugget too, is that you have to really seek within yourself to find out. And it's hard for you to know what you want in somebody else when you don't really know yourself well, and that trips up a lot of people too, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. The more I talk to individuals, the more I know. You just kind of go with the flow. You go with whoever approaches you that Monday. You don't really, especially women, and this is so controversial, but women, they still are very timid when it comes to, putting themselves in position to be found. I don't, it's okay to say hello. It's okay to say, hey, give that man a compliment, but they get to the point where they're just afraid to even approach someone that they would actually want. And they just sit back and wait and just basically take whatever they can get. And I'm trying to dispel that mentality altogether, because listen, women, we are in a whole nother era. We have it going on. We're professionals. We are not, excuse me, grandmothers, we're not our grandmothers anymore, because we have access and we have so many more opportunities. So we can actually have something to do with the decisions and who we end up being with, and actually welcome the word of God, or not the word of the God, but actually welcome God's help in the process.
I love that. Yeah, you just said, it's amazing how women have progressed within the last 15, even 20 years. And that I hate to use the word back in the day, but back in the day, how it seemed as if a lot of women settled. They settled, or they were married because at the time they probably felt like that was the best they can do. And because of that situation, a lot of people stay in relationships far too long if it is not the ideal relationship for them, and they put up with a whole lot of stuff, just to make the relationship work. So when you come into contact with anybody in those situations, what advice do you typically give them?
Well, depends on if a person is married. I will say I don't get into, married people's situations. So I would, just really encourage that person to make the best decision, because I do believe, marriage is a covenant. And a lot of times when it comes to, depending on what they're dealing with, certain things can be worked out. But if a person is single, I'll emphasize that I will just ask them questions as to what do they want this person to be, or what do they want their ideal mate to actually display. And I just tell them to ask a simple question to their current mate. And for instance, let me just give an example. You want someone that, is very supportive in what you do. You want someone who takes you out twice a month. And of course, say that person isn't doing any of those things. So I would tell them, all right, ask your significant other if he can do those things that you require. And if he says no, or if he gives you a little bit of a, rah, then there's your answer. From the answer that person gives you, then you can make the decision. Because in that way, you're allowing that person to decide whether or not they're going to be the person that you want them to be. And a lot of times when I put it like that, the person already knows that, oh, he's not going to do that because he hasn't done it for 5 years, or whatever. And so, but every now and then there's a person that says, well, you know what, we were able to talk through it because they actually never said what it is that they wanted. They just kind of went around the house slamming doors or, cutting up like some of us always do. But it's like, no, you have to communicate. Say what it is that you want. That man don't know nothing. He don't know what none of that means. It's going over his head. So just say, hey, I want you to listen to, I know you don't care, but listen to me when I'm telling you about my day. I just really don't want advice. I just want you to listen.
Right. And that's so important, just the communication aspect. And we tend to think our significant other should know what we think.
Yes.
We are upset when they miss the mark. So yes, communication is definitely key. You have a message in your book that says, seek ascension and not attention. I love that. But what was your main purpose for including that? And what exactly do you want to impress upon to our audience with that message?
Yes. So kind of like in our last example where I talked about the woman wanting to have that person that takes them out a couple of times a week or, listen to them when they're speaking. Those are examples of, wanting attention. Now, when you're dating, I want women to understand. Now, I'm not just dating, but when you're dating, looking for a marriage partner, you are looking for someone who is going to ascend you to that throne, take you from single to married. So I'm not necessarily going to give all of my time and attention to the person that's, giving me the most attention. I am looking for that ascension. I'm looking for someone that's actually talking in terms of long term. They're actually displaying characteristics that display spousal characteristics of, if you're looking to have children, they're displaying those characteristics of a father. You are looking for future goals. You're not paying attention to, oh, well, girl, he bought me this, he wined and dined me. Because those things, as I've been told and as I've learned in my relationships, after a while, that stuff ends. So at the end of the day, you want to really look for what matters. Look for what really matters. And I believe that's what God told me. And that's what he wanted me to impress upon all of you.
That's a very powerful message at that, and speaking from a married woman's perspective, you are exactly right. What they tend to do, and use the word they very, very loosely, but with what they tend to do in the beginning of dating or whatever is they want to woo you, right?
Oh, yes. That's what they were taught to do, honey. Yeah.
Okay.
And they do it very well. Very well.
And think about it like this, especially speaking from a woman's perspective, men are hunters. They're like natural hunters. So that's what hunters do. And when they, catch you and lock you down, all of those flowers and chocolates and all of those sweet little nothings, they then become far and in between. So then what do you have? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Right. So you have to have that foundation. And I love that message in your book because you outlined it so beautifully. You have to have that foundation because when all of that other mushy stuff is gone, and when, real life and real marriage and real relationship issues arise, you need to have something to stand on. Otherwise, your marriage will not work. And if it doesn't, it is going to be extremely difficult and you're going to have a lot of different challenges. So it's really important to have that strong base and that strong foundation. So I love that. And I truly appreciate that message to our single community out there.
Thank you. Thank you.
So we're going to take a quick, brief break. I am enjoying this. Don't go anywhere
Yes.
because we will be right back with Rae Campbell. She has a lot more that we're going to talk about and dig into it. So I promise you don't want to miss it. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Have you ever wanted someone to talk to but didn't know which way to turn? Have you ever needed advice in business and didn't know where to go? Well, at KLM Services Consulting and More, we can definitely be that for you. We're here to uplift, to encourage, and to coach you through difficult situations or decisions. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at KLM Services Consulting. KLM Services Consulting and More. We're here for you.
We are living in a digital age, and we think it's safe to say that all businesses are needing to transition from traditional brick and mortar to broadcast. Everything is really about data collection and building a community. EasyWay Broadcasting has created a social network / solution provider within the EasyWay network to help its members with this transition. Introducing the EasyWay Wall of Fame, a one-stop shop for business owners and influencers that help them to connect, grow, learn, and scale the easy way. Over the years, we have been building affiliates and partnerships in all genres. That means our platform utilizes all our members' businesses to provide services at a much lower cost, help sell their service, and promote their awareness to more potential customers. Through our new media empire, we have a reach to millions. Become an affiliate. Make money doing it the easy way. Create your free account today by visiting easywaywalloffame.com. Accelerate your influence through direct access to the right influencers. We have many TV shows that our members can be interviewed by. We have our own magazine and radio station to promote our EasyWay Wall of Fame members' profiles, which they control. The more friends you get, the bigger your business will grow. Join the EasyWay Wall of Fame community for free today.
On this journey, I found myself on the road through personal pain and discovery. I found out that there were so many women and young girls who suffered just like me due to having a lack of information about our bodies. I knew then that it was up to me to help and share what I know. So I traveled on the road that has many ups and downs in order to empower and inform young girls that there is a better way. And I'm yet on this road again, which is very uncertain, but there are many bright moments along the way with inspiring the next young generation of ladies to take control of their bodies, health, and minds on this road. I find myself moved with compassion and empathy for the moms who just don't know. That's why I go to many places, near and far, to inspire, to educate, to empower the next generation of women and young girls to take complete control of our minds, our bodies, and our health.
I am Yolanda Rory, founder of Total Grace Consulting and Grace Coaching Academy. You are listening to Keever's Place, the Keever Murdoch Show. Are you struggling with hair growth and no matter what you do, your hair just won't grow? Then I introduce to you the K-Learnings Naturals Hair Growth Serum. This growth serum is a proprietary blend of natural oils and essential oils and has proven results to jumpstart your hair growth process in as little as 30 days. Pair this hair growth serum with our Renew and Restore healing oil and is guaranteed to treat any conditions such as eczema, psoriasis, ringworms, and more. Visit our website today for these great products and all of our natural hair care line at www.klernicenaturals.com. Again, that's www.klernicenaturals.com.
Welcome back. Welcome back. All right, DJ Ray. Now we have a couple more things that I definitely wanted to cover with you. So we talked about your message about ascension and not attention, but you also said in your bio, which I'm going to call it another message, you cannot date the world's way and expect kingdom results. So let's talk a little bit about that.
Yes, yes. So, just speaking from experience, I just to be totally and completely transparent, did a lot of partying. So I definitely want to talk to those women that, been in those atmospheres of the nightlife, and you meet people that they're good people. And you may have even gone to church together like me and some of my boyfriends have. But at the end of the day, if you weren't really doing a lot of the things that you should have been doing, or, doing things God's way, then yes, it's going to end up not being a good, fit for you. And just to be really frank, yes, having sexual relations, just to be completely and totally honest, I understand now that God does not want you to be bored and not have fun. He really does want you to enjoy your mate, but there's a reason why he wants you to wait until marriage. I heard something that Miles Monroe said, the famous Dr. Miles Monroe, rest in peace to him. But he said it so beautifully that, God doesn't want you to have regrets. And he wants you to have great memories with your spouse, not with the other people that you may have been with in the past. So I know now that, you give yourself away, you do all these things that are in other books that are not Christian based. And you think, oh, that's what I got to do to get and keep my man. Or you're listening to your girlfriends that say, well, girl, if you want that man to put that ring on it, you got to do A, B, C, D every day. And you're like, oh, really? But I'm here to tell you, none of that works. And I'm saying it kind of in a joking way. However, I just want you to realize that if you do all of those things, that is the thing that he's fallen in love with, or he's being manipulated by, not necessarily you as a person. And not to ramble on, but I've seen the other side of the mountain where, when that woman, if she can't perform anymore for some reason, or that man can't perform anymore for some reason, that relationship is over. And so I beg anyone watching to take that out of your relationship and see what you have. Take that out of your relationship and see what you have. If you all cannot still carry on a conversation, have a great night together, or have a great month together without that while you're dating, or you're fighting all of a sudden, or whatever the case, you may want to evaluate what has been keeping you two together. What's the foundation of that relationship? So I'm going to stop there. So, and just reiterate again, you cannot date the world's way and expect kingdom results. You just can't do it. It doesn't work. And really, you're blinded by everything that the world tells you, which is a complete and total lie. You're blinded by it, and you're missing out on who it is that God may have intended for you to really be with.
And that's why I truly love this book. And I love that God gave you such a strong and powerful message to put it in a book format, because we find ourselves, some of us, praying and asking for God to send us our spouses or whatever, but we're not truly aligned according to what the scripture says, so it's not going to work. And it goes back to exactly what you were saying earlier about establishing that foundation, taking all of that other extra stuff out and getting down to the basics, getting to the core of the relationship. And then, you can build on that, which I still do not encourage fornicating before marriage. That's just me personally.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's just me personally. I stand on that, and I truly believe that from my biblical perspective. But it just makes a huge difference when you can get to take all of those other pretexts and pretense out and just get to know the individual. You'll be surprised what you find if you just really just take it back to the basics and keeping it simple and just truly getting to know that individual for who and what they are.
Mm-hmm. Yes, a perfect example of that is, I'm sure somebody watching can relate to this. It's seeing that person that you're no longer in a relationship with 5 years later, and you look at them and say, I don't know what it was I saw in this person. You didn't see nothing. You weren't paying attention to that. You was paying attention to what it is they did for you, more than likely. And not necessarily always sexual. Whatever they did for you that pleased your flesh, when took you out to eat, that's pleasing your flesh. Buying you stuff, that's pleasing your flesh, because it makes you happy and giddy on the inside. So whatever that was, when that was taken away, now you get to see the real person. Now you get to see that one eye is a little bit smaller than the other, or that bad attitude that they have, so you gotta keep on those spiritual glasses, ladies and gentlemen. Keep them on.
I love that. Keep on the spiritual glasses. I love it.
Yes.
I love it. Again, this is what her books look like: the 24-hour rule, determining your dating partner's marriage potential in 30 days. Which brings me to my next question. What should the first 30 days look like to find out if he or she is a keeper? And what should it look like if they are not a keeper?
Yes. So this is actually another common question that I receive. Like, when does the 30 days start? So I believe there's a meeting stage. Like, you just meet a person. So no, your 30 days doesn't really start there. I believe your 30 days begins when this is a person, okay, now I want to actually start to get to know you, or in that exclusive dating stage where you're just focused on that person, and one of you had that conversation that, what, I want us to get to know each other better. So within that time, that's where I say spend time together. Try to spend 24 hours together, not in one day, but maybe every weekend. Spend about 3 hours together, 4 hours together on another day, until you get to those 24 hours. Now, here's the other kicker. Within that time, I don't want you to talk to anybody else about that person but God. And you're fasting, you're praying, you're saying, God, you know what? Show me what it is I need to see about this person. Let me know if this is a person that I should be pursuing or trying to have a future with. Because you're only talking to God because our friends can say, oh, girl, you better not let that one go. And really your parents, don't tell your parents, because they just want a grandbaby. So they're going to tell you anything so you can give them a grandbaby. So you want to spend that time with that person and with God. And when during that 30 days, that's it. And so after the 30 days are up, that's when you have a conversation with the person and just basically, of course, you're evaluating what it is that you've noticed, and you have the conversation and say, hey, let's work towards, continuing this relationship, keep on going towards a serious path, and just continue to go with, being your best self and having a good time together. So if it doesn't look too good, you might be able to, break the news to that person before the 30 days are up and say, you know what, I don't think that we are going to be a great match. And of course, I've already given an example that, okay, I like what I'm seeing. And you know what, I do want to continue to get to know this person and continue to work towards a potential marriage. Could something still go wrong after that time? Absolutely, because we always are going to be on our best behavior. However, I tell you one thing, it is very hard when you're spending time with a person to keep it together for that amount of time. Because if you think about it, like I said, I was seeing somebody for 6 months and we might have went out for an hour every 2 weekends, if that. Or we might have met for 30 minutes just to chat somewhere. And so we rarely spent any time together. So it's easy to put on that face or bring that representative when you're just spending a couple minutes with a person here and there. But it's hard when you're actually planning, a few hours together, or, dinner and, walking around in the park or going to the gym and, something else to where you two can conversate. So that is my spiel as it pertains to that. If you have any questions, you all know how to get in contact with me.
And we are actually going to that next segment right after this, but I just wanted to say, what I'm hearing you say is date, but date with a purpose.
Yes.
You have to have some type of outline, which I feel like she has definitely given you in the 24-hour rule book. You have a manual where she is literally teaching you how to do it God's way and how to date effectively and with a plan and a purpose, and it just takes out of that just the mindless part of it. Meet somebody, you go out to dinner, you go out to a movie, and then before you know it, you're spending relations together and you don't even you barely know them. So that just kind of takes all of that mindless dating out of it, and it just keeps you laser focused on what your purpose should be, and that's seeking God first and letting him lead you, and then just trusting the process. I love that.
Thank you.
So how can they get in contact with you? I know that you're all over social media, Jare Campbell, but how else can they get in contact with you?
Yes, you are more than welcome to email me info@djarecampbell.com. People send me their scenario questions, anything that they're currently going through, prayer requests, just anything. Just go ahead and send it to me. I'm not one of those people right now who, are like, oh no, I'm not. You have to schedule an appointment. No, whatever it is that you need any type of encouragement about, that's what I'm here for. That's my ministry, is keep making sure that godly people find each other. And I want you to be prepared. I want you to be in a place where you are so confident that when you walk into a room, people will hear angels singing when you step into that room, because your confidence is just going to be on that level. So that's the main place you can definitely get in contact with me. And then my website is djarecampbell.com if you want to, look at that and learn a little bit more about me as well.
I love that. So, ladies and gentlemen, you have heard it. She is extremely accessible. Okay. So, if you have any questions, if you have any needs, if you just have a prayer request, if you aren't sure you are actually moving in the right direction and figuring out if your current relationship is the one that God intends for you to be in, definitely reach out to Rae. I'm confident that she will be that spiritual guidance and that sound word of wisdom that will definitely get you on the right track. And don't forget to pick up her book, The 24-Hour Rule, Determining Your Dating Partner's Marriage Potential in 30 Days. It's available. It's available on Amazon. You can find it on Amazon. And it is available on your website too, correct?
Yes. If you want an autograph copy, yes, you can get it through the website, or you can just find me on social media and inbox. I'm not very formal, but yeah, you can do that as well. And I'll send you the ways where you can submit your payment, and I'll ship it right on to you.
Beautiful, beautiful. And again, you can reach her all over social media at Jare Campbell. That's DJARE. Last name is Campbell. Email information is info@DJARE Campbell, CAMPBELL.com. I wanted to spell it, girl, because I don't want them to have any problem finding you.
No. Thank you.
Not a problem. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I greatly appreciate having you on and sharing your book and your wisdom with us. Do you want to leave any final words with our viewers tonight?
Yes, if I can have a quick moment, I just want to just remind you all that, God wants everything that you want in the individual. God wants the same from you. That is one of the chapters that I actually entitled that one of the chapters, because in my experience, I found myself in a place where I was mad and upset about all of the things that I did for a person, but I felt as if I was betrayed. And as I was yelling out and saying, how could this person do this to me? I heard the Spirit of the Lord say, daughter, I can ask you the same thing. After all I've done for you, how could you betray me when you needed, everything that you needed, when you didn't have anything? I sent those angels to help you out. I sent these people. So keep that in mind, that God wants the same thing from you that you are seeking in another person. Don't put God on the back burner. He wants to be your matchmaker, and he wants you to have a successful marriage that will help build this community. We need you. Trust God and do it his way. That's all.
Listen, there you have it. I mean, there is no more than I need to say. I mean, that was so eloquently said. And I just thoroughly appreciate you. Thank you so much. And I would love to bring you back on later on in the future. Just just welcome to the family, and definitely stay in touch, because
oh yes,
I definitely want to bring you back on, and hopefully we can make some things happen for our
definitely. I think so. Yeah, I'm thinking about a lot of things because to get this ball to rolling. But yes, we'll definitely talk and discuss.
Beautiful. Well, hang out backstage. So thank you again. Okay, well, I hope you guys have thoroughly enjoyed our show tonight. It has been a blessing. For our singles, listen, you do not have to, and Rae said it perfectly, you do not have to be out here just mindlessly dating. Date with a purpose, and date with God's purpose and vision for your life and your potential spouse. And like she said, get yourself together before they come into your life. Make sure you are in a position to be prepared for them. I love it. So if you enjoyed our show, I wanted to let you know you can watch us and follow us on all of the major podcast platforms. You can also watch us on Amazon TV, Roku, and Amazon Fire on the Easy Way Network, okay? You can also support us. Be one of our supporters so that we can continue to bring you relevant information and wonderful guests. So if you would like to be a monthly supporter of our show, you can do it one of three ways. You can go to anchor.fm/KeeversPlace/support. Anchor.fm/KeeversPlace/support. Or just look me up on Anchor, Keever's Place, the Keever Murdoch Show and Podcast. We have 3 monthly subscriptions. You can subscribe for 99 cents per month, $4.99 per month, or $9.99 per month. And if you choose $9.99 per month, you support us, we support you. We will advertise your business, your book, whatever you have going on for free as a thank you for supporting us. So again, for $9.99 per month, we will advertise whatever you have going on. You support us, we support you. And it's absolutely free, and it's our way of saying thank you for your monthly support. We would greatly appreciate that. You can watch us every Thursday night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can watch us on our Facebook page, Keever's Place, the Keever Murdoch Show and Podcast, YouTube, and of course on all of our podcasting platform. Okay. To be a guest on our show, you can text the word guest to 803-368-3030. Again, that's 803-368-3030, or go to our booking site at tinyurl.com/Keever's Place Booking and schedule your consultation to be a guest on our show. We will love to have you. So thank you so much for watching and tuning in. I hope you all thoroughly enjoyed our show tonight. Definitely tune in next Thursday night, 7:30 p.m., same place, same time, and we will see you then. Thank you so much. And thank you to my guest, Jare Campbell. And for all of you, of course, we love you, and we'll see you next week. Take care. Good night.
Thank you for watching Keever's Place, the Keever Murdoch Show and Podcast. Tune in every Thursday night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Keever's Place. To be a guest on our show, text the word guest to 803-368-3030 or visit us at tinyurl.com/Keever's Place Booking. And watch us on Apple TV, Roku, and Amazon Fire as we're broadcasting in more than 60 million homes worldwide.